Hey everybody, my name is Coach Carmelle and this here is
Coach Lesley.
And we are
Flex
and
Fiber.
Fiber. This is our introductory episode, and what we want to do is thank you for coming and dropping by and listening to what we have to say. We are a brand new podcast and we're excited because we feel like the information that we have to share with you all will be very valuable. And we're excited about it. And Lesley, did you want to say anything about Flex and Fiber?
Yeah, we, again, like Coach Carmelle said, we're super excited. We just wanted to give some perspective on the plant-based diet and lifestyle, the fitness world, just being women, being Black women in the fitness world, and everything in between. I feel like there needs to be more of us representing health and wellness, and that's what we're doing. We're coming from two generations, two different age groups that impact women totally different. So we're here to answer any questions, tell about our lifestyles, tell about our fitness journeys, and hopefully help a lot of you out there listening on your fitness journey.
And Lesley, that's what I think, Coach Lesley, that's what I think is it's so special about us, right? Because not only are we whole food plant-based, so we eat from the produce section, y'all. We eat from the produce section. Most of the things that we grab, if they're in packages and boxes, they have 1, 2, maybe 3 ingredients in them. We keep it super, super clean. But at the same time, we're heavy into fitness. Lesley is a rock star in this, and I'm just trying to keep up. So that's another thing that makes us special. Another thing that keeps us special, that makes us special, and why you should listen to us is, just like Coach Lesley said, we're from 2 different generations. I'm a Gen X. I'm a Gen X. I forgot for a second. Why did I do that? And Coach Lesley, you are?
A millennial.
So we've got about, 15 years from each other? I'm 50 years old. Coach Lesley is?
33.
And so we have different perspectives when it comes to our fitness, and not even so much different perspectives, Coach Lesley. I feel like you and I, we pretty much have the same perspective of things. Yeah. However, I'm looking at it through a lens, obviously, from a 50-year-old woman, a perimenopausal 50-year-old woman. And Coach Lesley is not at that stage yet. However, at every stage of our lives, at every age of our lives, we're dealing with different things. Yeah. And the fact that Coach Lesley and I were able to form such a tight-knit bond and relationship, we figured that, listen, the 2 of us could get together and lend our perspectives on life based on where we are in life together. And our audience would very much appreciate both perspectives. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, definitely. We were meeting weekly anyway. I was Carmelle's coach for a little bit for her bodybuilding competition last year. And we met every Thursday. And then once the show was over, we were like, oh, this is weird. Like, we're not going to be meeting anymore. But then we were like, let's just keep meeting. So we kept meeting. And then we were like, this is good information that we need, and we're sure other people need as well. So we were like, why don't we record this? And then that's how Flex and Fiber was birthed.
Yeah, that's exactly how. And then we became super, super close when Lesley decided that she wanted to do a competition. And so we pretty much we're holding each other accountable. We were each other's support system, and we were experiencing the same thing in a very, very different way. And we're experiencing different things in the same way, if that makes sense. Yeah. And we decided the things that we were learning about ourselves, what we were learning about each other, and what we were learning about fitness in general. Right. Plant-based nutrition in general. We figured we got to take this out to the people. So before we kind of sign off, and thank you again for watching us, Coach Lesley, I would like you to tell our listeners what your background is, where your focus is as a coach, and who you coach, demographic, what your favorite kind of exercises are, like little tidbits like that, and then I'll go.
Yeah. Thanks, Coach. So by day, I'm a full-time fitness trainer, a performance coach, a nutrition coach, and I coach, honestly, a broad range of athletes. So I coach anywhere from youth athletes in runners, field sports athletes, to adults that are, again, runners, ultra runners, doing field sports, do a little bit of ultimate frisbee training, and then, yeah, I know. Surprise.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's actually really fun, but it's very similar to, it's like if soccer and basketball and like football kind of had a child, and that's ultimate frisbee for you. But it's a very specific athlete too. But yeah, so I coach a lot of different athletes, but I also coach just like, general fitness athletes that are adults that are just literally trying to age gracefully. So it's kind of all over the place. Love my clients. I just love people. But I also am a CrossFitter, so I do CrossFit. I compete a couple times a year in usually local competitions. I am going to be going out to Tampa in August and competing with the Vegan Strong team. So that's really cool. And then I love running marathons. So I'm running the Marine Corps Marathon in October. And recently I just became an OCB pro bikini bodybuilder. So I definitely would say I'm a gym rat. I am a fitness junkie. That's my favorite one. But yeah, I mean, I just love everything fitness. I always have. My first love was basketball. I started playing when I was like 7, and I played all the way to college, and still love basketball till this day. I don't play as much anymore. I always say I'm a retired basketball player, but that was my first love. And that was when I really discovered the gym and like the weights and how much I loved that. And just how being strong was a flex, literally and figuratively, but it was not always a flex. I felt definitely not as it wasn't as cool back then to be very muscular as a girl. So now it's a lot more cool to have muscles. So that's kind of my background of my journey in the fitness realm. Becoming a trainer was just very like organic. After graduating college, I started coaching youth basketball, and then I eventually went to a personal training school. It was a personal training institute in Pittsburgh. And then from there, I took my test with NASM and, got different certifications here and there. I'm a CrossFit L1 trainer as well. But recently I've been dabbling into nutrition and got certified as a nutrition coach. And I love all things nutrition because I think it goes full circle with what we're doing. So you can't really leave out nutrition whenever you're talking about fitness.
So true. So true. So true. There's a lot. You said a lot, and I can't wait to unpack all of that on this podcast as the days and weeks come on. With every episode, we're going to just be dissecting, and I'm going to start to learn a lot more about you. There were a few things in there that you said that I was like, I had no idea. And we've been so close for at least a year now, speaking on a very regular basis.
Right.
So again, I'm Coach Carmelle. My full name is Carmelle Jean-François. I'm from New York City. Where are you from, Coach Lesley?
I'm from the Burgh, Pittsburgh.
She's from the Burgh. I'm a New York City rat. And so I'm from New York, and I think my fitness, I grew up a tomboy. My parents did not have the luxury of sending me to any type of sports training, any type of programs of that sort. Oh, we lost Lesley. It's probably a phone call coming in or something. But it was always in my heart, and I was always a tomboy. Now, you said that your first love was basketball. My first love was kind of running, but I didn't run because I didn't belong to any organized program, any organized team. But I came to love martial arts. So I did martial arts as a young adult. I was in my very early 20s. I was like 20 nothing, and I got my black belt. So that's a fun thing. That was definitely a flex, Lesley, to be like, yeah, I'm a black belt. But then I went sedentary for almost 10 years. I got into a car accident, and that's actually what made me fall in love with fitness all over again. And my journey was, I just wanted to make myself strong. After I broke bones, I broke my hip bone and my ankle. I had surgery, all kinds of things. I wanted to make myself strong. So I started working out, and I found that I loved it. So my living room became my gym. I have all kinds of weights and different tools, and I call them toys because they're so much fun for me. And then I decided, people started asking me questions, and I'm like, I don't know how to answer. So I went and I got my personal training certification. It was with, I think, ISSA, and then I got NASM later on when I worked for a personal training studio. And so I did that for a few years. I even got my spinning certification, and I did nothing with the spinning certification, but I was like, I haven't done another certification under my belt. I am a pre and postnatal exercise specialist. So I'm certified to work with pregnant women. I am. And so I have those certifications, and currently I'm graduating from my nutrition coaching certification. Now, my specialty is I coach people who have intense sugar cravings and food cravings and maybe even addictions. And I coach them how to adapt a whole food, plant-based lifestyle in order to reverse those conditions. But like Lesley was saying, you can't talk about fitness without talking about without talking about nutrition. So nutrition came on later for me. I fell in love with fitness much like a couple of decades ago. And only now am I really embracing the nutrition aspect. And my nutrition is whole food, plant-based nutrition, as we said at the top of this episode. So I'm excited to keep learning more from Coach Lesley. I'm excited to hear from our listeners, whatever questions that you might have based on the information that we've given so far. And Coach Lesley and I are here to just keep learning more. And we learn from each other. We learn from our clients, and we're going to be learning a ton from you. And I'm excited. Lesley, I'm excited. Uh-oh, I can't hear you. I think it's something with, you had a phone call come in, right? Yeah. So if you leave and come back, we'll be able to hear you again. Okay. So while she does that, we are going to come up with we're going to be talking to you about myths. We're going to be talking to you about recipes. We're going to be encouraging you to try new foods. And we're just going to be sharing what our weeks look like, things that our clients bring to our attention, things of that nature. So we have a full list of stuff that we want to discuss with you all, that we want to dive into. We would love your questions. We would love your feedback, and also even suggestions of what we can speak about. And here she is. Here you are.
Okay.
Okay, good. Perfect. So where do we leave off? It doesn't matter. Yeah. It'll come to us if it's important, my mom used to always say. But I was just telling the good people about our lineup and what we'll be discussing with them on this podcast as time goes on. So if you don't have anything else to say, do you have anything else to say?
Not really. But since we are talking about our lineup, we might as well talk about, typically we'll do, instead of our intro, we'll do some sort of fitness mythbuster. And I have one, and I think that Coach Carmelle can really elaborate a little bit on this as well. I called it the scary soy. And it's one of those things where people are still terrified of soy and like soy products, soy milk, soybeans, and anything soy, like tofu, even tempeh. And I know, Coach, you have been doing a lot of soybeans for your perimenopause, and it is soy, especially, organic soy beans and soy products have been known to actually help with breast cancer and menopause and a bunch of these things that people are so afraid of. And in addition to that, a lot of the animals that people eat, they're like, yeah, I don't do soy. And I'm like, yeah, but the animals that you eat are on a soy diet. So it makes no sense. But a lot of times we just get, wrapped up in the, fake news of all of the media and what we've been told. And then there was that era of like soy is bad, and it still holds, weight today. So I don't know if you wanted to elaborate a little bit on that. But every time we'll have a little segment of a mythbuster of what we've heard, and just very short, brief. But I just didn't know if you could tell a little bit about your experience.
Well, my experience, I call myself a soy girl. I do soy milk, I do tempeh, I do edamame, I do tofu, and I do soybeans.
Right.
And edamame are just baby soybeans. So I get dry soybeans, I cook them, and they take a long time to cook. They're not fun, but I feel like it's important, and it has the most amount of protein than I think any bean out there. So I think it's worth it. And what Lesley was talking about as far as my experience with soybeans are concerned is it actually gets rid of my hot flashes, which, Coach Lesley, interestingly enough, I ran out. I haven't been on, it's like my prescription. I haven't been on soybeans. Yes, my medication. I haven't been on it for like almost 2 weeks. And even today before our call, I was like, woo! Wow. And it started creeping in. So I placed an order through Amazon. I really did. And I'm like, okay, I can't wait to cook my soybeans again, because I need it as part of my life. Now, what people are usually afraid of when it comes to soy products is the what they feel is the estrogen levels in these products. And first of all, there's not enough in there to give anybody man boobs. That's not a thing. And there's nothing in there. It's not cancer causing. I would love a second opportunity to come back and really lay this out so that we can really have a good discussion about it, since I know that we're short on time today. Right. And we'll definitely dive into that. But as far as I know, soy is good. And I've even done the research on it, because I'm like, I don't want to put anything in my body that's going to risk me getting breast cancer, or even my clients. That's not cool. So I've done the research on it. When we come back and talk about it in depth, I'll be able to give us a lot more information on that, and we'll be able to dive in. And like I was saying before, we would love to hear your questions and your comments and suggestions. If any of you that are listening now, has any type of questions about soy, please give us the questions, so that when we do sit down and talk about soy products, we'll definitely be able to answer your questions.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it. Again, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for listening. We'll be back weekly, and we look forward to a long
relationship with you.
Yep, relationship with our podcaster.
Yeah. All right, Lesley. That's it, right?
See ya.
See you next time. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.
And don't forget to subscribe.